Greetings, alchemists, and happy gibbous moon. The gibbous phase occurs the 3.5 days before or leading up to the full moon. And this is a phase of the lunar cycle that's characterized by an eagerness to improve. It's the phase where we are feeling the infusion of new energy. We've taken action, we've committed, and we've organized to come into alignment with this new cycle. And now we feel the imminent arrival of the full moon illumination. And so this is the phase where we are, for ourselves, showing up. There's an eagerness for self-improvement. There's a willingness to evaluate internally what needs to be improved in order to expand into something new. There's a willingness to let go of old patterns in order to show up to the new possibilities and new potentials. So this is a phase every month where we get to practice. We have the opportunity to practice these skills and abilities of self-evaluation and commitment to improvement. There's a quality of devotion to this phase of the moon, and it's a devotion to the larger good. You could think of the coming full moon and think of devotion to the light, a willingness to do what it takes to commit oneself to something greater. Now, before I dive into the cards, I want to give 2 practical notes that I use every month at this time. And the first practical question I ask myself is, what do I need to do right now for self-care? And I look at all aspects of my life in this current month. And then I focus on self-care as a practical way to help myself show up for what's coming. So the first days of the month have been busy, and now it's time to regroup and say, how can I take care of myself to improve my ability to receive and adapt and show up to my life and to the opportunities of the present moment. So self-improvement and self-care are a big theme. And then the other theme that's super helpful at this time of the month is appreciation. And the appreciation and gratitude are qualities that are, some say, the most important spiritual muscles you can grow, because they enable you to come fully present in your heart and accept any moment in any circumstance and any person and any point of resistance, including your own, by being available to the new potential or new possibility. So appreciation and gratitude are awesome muscles to practice right now in preparation for full moon and for the new illumination, because it means that you're going to bring your own frequency up so that you can be ready to receive new doses of light and new doses of illumination and awareness in the coming days. So self-care, appreciation, those are the 2 keys that I really appreciate practicing every month during these 3.5 days. And now what I'd like to share are the 4 tarot cards that align with this phase of the lunar cycle, and I ascribe the number 5 to Gibbous phase. And 5 is the number of transformation, and 5 is the number of growth. 5 moves us from the stability of 4 to the organized grids of 6, with possibilities and the necessary cycles of change that happen between stability and a new higher level of organization. So 5 represents growth and change and transformation. It's no surprise then that if you think about that principle, that the 4 5s are all what we call Bardo cards. They all represent a quality of challenge that we face at times of growth. And so all of us go through these challenges. What's awesome about this practice of following the lunar cycle intentionally is this is a time every month when you have the opportunity to creatively harness the frequencies of this cycle and a positive natural field that's surrounding you. You have the opportunity right now to show up for these patterns, however they emerge in yourself this month. So the names for these 4 patterns are 5 of Wands, strife, which I think of as stress. And this is the way in which we respond to challenges energetically. So it's all forms of energetic stress or irritation or quarreling or frustration with unexpected circumstances. And then the Five of Cups is called disappointment. And the Five of Cups represents the ways in which we respond to unexpected circumstances, especially things that we thought were solid emotionally that are falling apart, apparently. So it represents ways we've been disappointed in the past and then bringing that pattern forward whenever there's any kind of quality of emotional change or conflict or challenge in the present. And the Five of Swords is called defeat, and it represents ways in which we project past experiences of defeat into current situations of change. And then the Five of Discs is called worry. And we all, I think most of us understand this definition of worry that has to do with evaluating a present circumstance by living in the past or living in the future. And so projecting what's going to happen based on what's happened in the past or being afraid of how things might not unfold. And so worry always takes us out of the present moment. And that's one of the best lessons for these four states, is that usually these states of stress in the face of challenge are the result of projecting meaning onto our circumstances based on something that's happened in the past or something we're worried about in the future. So it's common for all of us to receive these cards and to work with these cards in our daily lives. The Gibbous phase every month is a fantastic time to practice building muscles where you embrace change and embrace challenge and embrace adventure of expansion, because that's what 5 represents. Is the 5 is known as the number of the human. We are stars. If you extend your arms and legs, you make a star. And so the 5-pointed star, the pentagram, is the image of humanity, of being human, and also of life and the frequency of life. So these are days to embrace whatever challenges appear in your life with an inspiration to show up for yourself and to learn what you can in these circumstances and to feel the infusion of the coming light that can motivate you to prepare and use whatever circumstances are in your life right now as fuel for your own expansion and growth. Knowing that in just a few days you're going to receive new insights. Even if you don't understand the meaning now, you can look forward to new insights and understandings in the days to come. And for me, that's the biggest lesson of working with these ongoing cycles and rhythms, is that when I'm in one of these states of stress or disappointment or of defeat or worry, by practicing this muscle of the lunar cycles, I always know that I'm just in a transitory experience from one form of structure to another form of higher order. And as long as I remind myself that I'm in a process, I can always ask for help and receive tools and perspectives and practices that help me navigate the uncertain time until there's a new level of structure and order and a new grid of coherence that feels a little more comfortable. Everything's a process, and that's what working with the lunar cycle helps us remember and helps us practice. So I invite you to have a really fantastic 3.5 days of Gibbous phase and of self-care and self-improvement and self-love and self-nurturing, and of showing up with eager curiosity and adventure for whatever challenges you're facing right now, because you are in a place now to understand and appreciate the opportunities for growth that you're receiving. So have a great Gibbous phase, and I'll see you again in a few days.